Hello, everybody. How are you doing? Hello, Bianca, Efrendo, The Real Thing, Martin, Kevin. How are you doing, people? Tell me that I'm live and that you can hear me. That become important on this channel, that you validate me being live and that you can hear me. Thank you, Efrendo. I appreciate it. So it's gonna be a sad update today on our last live stream a week ago. Yes, I am alive. Well, I knew that. Been checking every day. Still alive. Protein deficiency is encroaching, but we haven't gone there yet. So for people who are going vegan today, I should know you have at least 10 years before protein deficiency sets in. Just remember to check your pulse every day, and then you're gonna be all right. So, last week, we read about this endeavor, which was incredibly sad. Let me actually. Ooh. Give me a second, guys. I didn't think about that when I made this. It's gonna be a little small, but that's okay. So, Midwest chicken farmers struggle to feed flocks after sudden closure of processor. We read that the Pew Prairie poultry processor, who also supplied the actual animals and the feed to farmers, were bought by a company after being almost bankrupt, survived for a few years while being supplied $46 million in both loan and grants, and then filed for bankruptcy, removed that bankruptcy, and just closed. All right, this is what we read last week. Well, a week has passed, and of course, us vegans, we know how it goes, right? Nobody expected that the animals are gonna leave.
Campaign through a Rochester nonprofit is helping local poultry farms prevent food waste from an unexpected overload of chicken.
This comes after an Iowa-based commercial chicken processing company suddenly filed for bankruptcy. Our Leah Demery spoke with the group that was able to buy those chickens. She's joining us in studio now to talk about next steps and the impact we can have. Good morning.
Good morning, Jess and Kelsey. The Southeast Minnesota Food Rescue and Redistribution Equity Eats program recently purchased more than 3 tons of chicken from a local farm in
3 tons of chicken. This is what sentient animals are reduced to. Tons. And talks about food waste.
jeopardy of being wasted. It plans to sell them at the Rochester Farmers Market tomorrow. The nonprofit works to provide resources for farmers in need and work alongside agencies to prevent food insecurities in the community. The organization purchased the live chickens from Red Sea Farms with a local food purchase assistance grant. Along with the grant, the organization was able to get those chickens to a processor to then distribute them to local food banks and farmers markets.
3 tons of chickens. We're going to read in a minute that that's 1.3 million individuals. Sorry about my energy today, by the way. I apologize. Seriously terrible energy I have today. And I'm guessing it's going to get a little worse. So, yeah. 3 tons, disgusting way to call them. That's exactly it. Yeah, not lives, tons.
Food is often headed for disposal because our farmers don't have adequate storage to wait for the following Saturday to sell their goods. And so in this way, we're able to prevent food waste, but also advance our farmers' economy.
Are you gonna, hey lady, you care about stuff, right? You're running on profit. Are you gonna talk about the individuals who lost their lives while you talk about food waste?
Just on this chicken, Winner Chicken Dinner campaign.
Pure Prairie Poultry, which provides processing for farmers in Iowa and Wisconsin as well, closed its doors in early October. That posed a serious threat to our local farmers' economies, and losing an entire crop can drive many out of business.
Crop! And individuals are called crop. It's sometimes it feels like it's getting worse, but I'm probably just biased. I'm probably just haven't been too attuned to how farmers speak until now, right? Never have I heard of animal when I was a meat eater, right? When I was just a stupid dumbass meat eater, not giving a shit about animals I eat, just go, it tastes nice, right? Never have I heard them being called livestock, which is kind of the same, right? But at least then the fact that they are alive, which I'm guessing it means because plants are alive, I'm guessing that meant that they are like animal stock, right? But never have I heard them reduced so much to being an absolute fucking object as to be called a fucking crop. Yeah, Bianca, livestock has at least the word live in it. And here it's like complete disregard. And this right, the way we're kind of used to this imagery of live animals and then their dead carcasses in plastic, right?
serious threat to our
Live
local farmers'
animals,
economies, and losing
dead
an entire
carcasses in
crop
plastic.
can drive many.
We're kind of used to it that this complete objectification to put in people's minds, right? That live animals exist to become this dead carcass in plastic. And B, the most important thing, the bit in the middle doesn't exist. Never have I ever seen this imagery being stitched up together like this, and they put like slaughterhouse footage in the middle, right? They blur that shit. They blur that shit. So that we continue thinking about living animals as if they were crops.
Out of business. To help in this crisis, you have until next Saturday, November 2nd, to buy chicken from the farmers market or while supplies last. When you buy one for your family through the Winter Chicken Dinner campaign, one chicken will then be donated to a local food shelf. Reporting live in studio, Aaliyah Demry, KTTC News.
You wanna check out this Winter Chicken Dinner thing? Let me just add that to the list. I haven't yet. Let me do it all fair for a second. Chicken dinner. Oh, it's just a thing. But there is a campaign, I guess. Fuck. Guys, my energy is all fucked up today. So I apologize. It's not gonna be very nice. Not incredibly nice stream today. It's gonna be all either shouty or quiet reflection. It's always about money, says Martin Kevin. Non-vegan hypocrisy. I love chicken, but where does my body parts wrapped in plastic? Yeah. So let's read a little bit more about this endeavor. A new campaign through Rochester nonprofit is helping local poultry farms prevent food waste from an unexpected overload of chickens. And that's all they're considered to be. No, I don't know, opining for the living souls. This comes after Iowa-based commercial chicken processing company Pure Poultry suddenly filed for bankruptcy. Southwest Minnesota Food Rescue and Redistribution Equity Eats Program, Jesus, that's mouthful, holy fuck, find an acronym, recently purchased more than 3 tons of chickens from Red Sea Farms. In the local Red Sea Farms, actually. I want to follow that up because I want to see if they're gonna buy new chickens after this fiasco. If they're gonna get new chickens, I want to see what happens. So maybe it's gonna be stream number 3. Hopefully not as weird as it is one today. Interesting that this winner chicken dinner is a real thing. Well, it used to be a saying. I know the saying, winner chicken dinner. It's from a show or something like that, right? But I guess they made it into a campaign in order to incentivize people to buy from this specific seller chickens in tons or something. Yeah. It is a saying that was now repurposed into slaughter. Well, it always was. It always was. With the local food purchase assistance grant in jeopardy of it being wasted. Along with that grant, the organization was able to get those chickens to a processor euphemism, they're gonna get killed. Well, they did. To then distribute them to local food banks and farmers markets. The organization plans to sell the chickens at the Rochester Farmers Market on Saturday. So that's where they're gonna basically manipulate people into buying expensive carcass. To help in this crisis, you have until Saturday, November 2nd, to buy chicken from the farmers market while supplies last. Yeah, we heard that. Okay, let's move on. So this was an update, October 25th, at 3:46 p.m. my time. This is a little bit later, October 25th again. State calls over 1 million broiler chickens following legal roadblocks. So one farm got some help from a non-profit, and I'm guessing, I haven't read this yet, I'm guessing that some other farms, because there was more than one farm, the state just decided to kill the chickens. The Iowa Department of Agriculture and Land Stewardship announced Friday it had depopulated, euphemism, for mass murder, birds from Pew Prairie poultry in whatever, which I never know how to read this ink thing, which had previously informed the department it was unable to purchase feed for its broiler chickens and closed its processing plant in Charles City. Fearing animal welfare concerns, did they get chickens some feed? No! The department intervened on October 2nd and took over the care, custody, and control of 1.3 million birds located across 13 Iowa farms. So again, it's about 100,000 per farm of individuals. The same day, Pew Prairie Poultry Inc. shuttered its Charles City processing plant and laid off its employees. Pew Prairie Poultry received $45.6 million from the U.S. Department of Agriculture in 2022. $39 million was a loan and $7 million was a grant. In 2022, to expand the Charles City processing plant, Iowa's USDA Rural Development Office celebrated the expansion with a ribbon cutting in July 2024, just 2 months before it filed for bankruptcy. I see my energy is affecting everybody. You are very quiet in chat. Iowa Secretary of Agriculture Mark Naig, I choose to read that name, Naig, commented on the situation in a statement on Friday. This is an incredibly unfortunate situation for the animals? Probably not. And raised serious questions about USDA oversight of taxpayer dollars. We agree. This is egregious. That they were granted $46 million in loan, which I bet they didn't repay, and in grant. Congress should exercise its oversight authority to ensure that something like this does not happen again, and that those responsible are held accountable. I thought, foolishly, that we live in a capitalist world, especially the US, where the governments don't keep bailing out private companies. Okay, real talk for a second. This should be said. right? So I understand if someone doesn't have regard for sentient life, why the USDA actually did this, right? Because this is a matter of, I understand very little about politics, but this is a matter of kind of like a national security. Because if this pure prairie thing, right, it closed down, and by the sound of this, about 2 million chickens or so became like removed from the market, basically, right? If they were to be culled entirely, that means 2 million, or have a look, 3 tons. Let's go with 3 tons, right? And disregard the animals that were killed for, because they couldn't be fed. So, nerds like us. So, 3 tons of food, because they don't give a shit about sentient life, could have been not gone to the market, right? That would create some kind of a void in the food production, in American food production. A void that, food is not created out of thin air, right? It's not like a plastic trinket that you can print out in billions, basically, right? In billions an hour. Animals need to be raised, crops need to be raised for a season. So if something affects either a crop or a population of animals, well, it potentially creates like this hole in the food production, right? That can't be immediately filled, supposedly. That's the reason that we are in such trouble with the dairy companies, right? That get bailed out. Not only bailed out, it's part of their strategy, right? To get bailed out, to sell the excess that they purposefully produce to the government. And that's why the US government has cheese stashed everywhere. So a government should stash food, right? In case there is some kind of a food insecurity. So it's a matter of national security, basically. If all of a sudden a certain crop is wiped out, or a certain animal population becomes incredibly sick or something like that, or what happens here with the pure prairie thing, that's, however millions of chickens were just not being taken care of anymore to bring them to slaughter weight, whatever the fuck, right? That's why last week, I think, I mentioned that I talked to a bunch of folks who live in India on a server, trying to make them vegan. And quite a few of them said that dairy is incredibly prevalent in India. And one of the people also stated that it's about 50% of like local economy. Dairy, just dairy. And that's incredibly risky, right? If those animals get sick all of a sudden. And they need to be depopulated, right? Cooled, basically. And they step out of production, right? Let's say all cows get sick somehow, right? In India. And they step out of production like immediately. Starting over would take years. And replacing it would take months, right? Replacing it with soy, right? Because takes a long time to grow soy as well. So half of India is gonna fucking starve, if not bailed out by outside governments, which they of course will do. Like the US has shit to send to India, but my point is, economically, I understand what USDA is doing, but the blatant disregard for sentient life is crushing my soul. So I don't know what to do. Right? There are two sides of my brain that are, well, they're not fighting. The disregard of sentient life is fucking tragic. I don't give a shit about the problems with not depopulating or not killing 2 million chickens. Those are the fucking sentient beings, right? And the USDA gave money to a place that it's their job to kill those animals instead of, I don't know, repurposing the fucking plant into something else. Asking the farmers to start growing mushrooms or whatever. To me, right, as a vegan, yes, I'm biased. As a vegan, I'm fucking biased. It seems like a lost opportunity to change your local crop, into something a little less risky. Like, not gonna lie, right? Mushrooms, about 30% of it gets lost in the time that they grow, right? But it's taken into account, and that happens to chickens as well, right? So no one crop is more risky than the other crop, but one of them is completely disregards sentient life, killing sentient life en masse. Sorry, my tangents are probably even more annoying while I'm in this stupid mood. So I really apologize. I'm really sorry. What are you saying? Bianca says a hetis. Same. Do you think we should stash food too? I would probably snack on it. I think I have about 2 weeks of grain lying around everywhere. Yeah, I guess I'm gonna miss veg really fast, but I probably should stock up a little bit more. Like, the canned food became very expensive lately. So I don't know. Everything became more expensive lately, but the canned food jumped it's twice the price right now, which is insane. I'm paying like $2.50 for a bean thingy, for a tin of beans. It's fucking insane. Cows are sacred in India, and yet they're exploited for their secretion. What the fuck? Exactly. It's more than that, Martin. 2 biggest exports from India are leather and beef. Granted, it's not coming from cow. It's coming from another bovine. It's coming from buffaloes, right? So they raise and kill buffaloes basically for beef and leather, and they export that, and that's one of the biggest India's exports. And it's somehow that nation is looked at as animal-loving nation because this one animal they don't necessarily kill, but they exploit the fuck out of her. Oh, their mother god, they exploit her so much, to the point where 50% of their local economy is dairy. Yeah, those chickens' barns would be great for growing mushrooms. That would be fucking amazing for it. Can you imagine? Oh my God. That's a farm I want to visit. And mushrooms have a great protein profile. Well, they're pretty low in protein. You have to eat like a lot to get like to anything, frankly. Yeah, mushrooms are not very protein dense, I guess. I have food for at least 3 weeks at home, good. Except for fresh vegetables. Well, fresh vegetables are so shit right now. It's like, I bought some because I decided I want to eat salad every day. I can't live without salad anymore. So I bought relatively tasty tomatoes. Tomatoes has been shit for the past 10 years. And some cucumbers and some green onions, right? To get all of my shit in one bowl. That's how I like my salad. And it cost me an enormous amount of money. Just the fact that I want one of my meals a day to be like a salad with actual veggies. So like, fuck. But I did it. I'm like, I can't do it anymore. I have to have salad. Oh, the real thing won. They have a few months of food on hand. Wow. Well, I don't have that. I bet if I ration, I can. It doesn't matter. You don't need to hear how my place is in shambles, and I actually have some dry food standing right there for no absolute reason. Right, so USDA Rural Development State Director for Iowa, Teresa Greenfield, did not respond to the request to comment before the publication of this article. The closure of the plant sent the department searching for a buyer and a processor, which was difficult due to the structure of the broiler industry. The press releases from the department said. I wonder what that means, due to the structure of the broiler industry. I guess it means because in this case, right, the Pew Prairie shit had to supply both the birds and the feed to farmers, and then they got the birds back, right? Because they kind of own everything and have to supply everything, pay for everything. And only then, after a few months, do they sell the product, the dead corpse in plastic. I guess maybe that's what they mean, but I would like to find out what that means, right? According to court filings in the 3rd Judicial District, don't care, reached an agreement with Tyson Foods, of course they did. It stipulated that idols, whatever the fuck that means, it's probably, I don't know, would cover care costs for the chicken didn't bother to add an S to indicate that those are individuals until they reach market weight, when then Tyson would handle catching, loading and transportation of the birds to the processing plant. And we know how gentle Tyson company is usually with animals, right? They're totally not like complete mega fucking farms. By the way, can you hear me all right? My mic indicates, the squiggly thing indicates that my mic is kind of low. So let me know if I'm too low. Maybe I can talk closer into my microphone. True, they're great in protein per calorie, not per grams, yeah. Well, even per calorie, it's not, you have to eat so much of them for it to be any kind of source of protein, right? Audio is good, okay. It's kind of weird because here it shows that it's kind of low, but that's okay. I trust you more, guys. So the filings state Tyson would have purchased the birds for 50 cents per bird. which was half of the company's original offer. It's kind of weird. They offered to buy birds for $1 per bird, but were reduced to 50 cents. Why? Tyson's offer represented a global resolution, limiting the uncertainty of what happens to the chickens moving forward and how the chickens would be fed and cared for. But all of a sudden, they talk about care. What the fuck is this fantasy? I don't understand. What do they mean by that word? What does that word mean? I don't understand. This is breaking me even more. I already came in broken. This is breaking me even more. Some of the growers contracted by Pew Prairie Poultry indicated they would argue their lion rights, whatever the fuck that means, on the birds, which the court filing said caused Tyson to reconsider the agreement for fear of future litigation and eventually rescinded its offer. So Tyson didn't buy the chickens in the end. With mounting costs of caring for 1.3 million birds, Idols asked the courts to authorize the department to pursue depopulation or culling the birds. There's some kind of a distinction they're creating between depopulation and culling. Is culling just more personal and they have to kill one by one? And depopulation is just basically the foam killing. I don't know. There's some kind of a... They draw some kind of a distinction there. While Idols believe depopulation should be the last resort, depopulation provides the state and everyone with finality of this unfortunate circumstance and limits the cost of the citizens of Iowa. The filing read. So again, absolutely no conversation about sentient life because they're not considered to be sentient life. They're considered to be crop. And therefore, the question of money comes not only first, but at the expense of a conversation about the animals themselves. Culling the birds began on October 17 by licensed veterinarians employed by the department and concluded October 25th, so yesterday. The department has spent over $1 million in dealing with the birds so far, but Don McDowell, Idols communication director, said the anticipated figure is over $2 million, as many of the expenses have yet to be paid. McDowell said this cost included feed, farmers' contracts. What the fuck does that mean, farmer contracts? Are they buying them off? They're paying the farmers. That's why I want to follow that farm to see what happens if they get new birds at some point. I'm so sorry. Part of why I'm like this is because I've been plagued about allergies. I have been brutally attacked. I'm gonna show you. Brutally attacked by a cat whom I petted, who for some reason then put her claws in me in a way that had never been clawed before. Her claws got stuck in my skin and I got a pretty horrendous allergic reaction. This is better now. This is just the scars left, but it's got swollen. And I fucked up my other hand in a different way. Everything is, my hands are pretty nasty right now. It's pretty fucking gross. So yeah, just keeping fucking up my hands. All right, depopulation disposal, personal expenses, and mileage. NIDL's press release from Friday said it would pursue all available avenues to recoup taxpayers' costs, including for possible future legal remedies. So they're going to sue the owners. The court ordered on October 11 that defendants with any ownership interest in any of the livestock must pay the department for expenses incurred with feeding and maintenance. Well, they walked away. They received $46 million. So $2 million shouldn't be too bad. In order to blah, blah, blah. Don't care anymore. So, this is just another thing, the same. Would you like to hear more people not talking about the animals? Let's do it.
Iowa's Department of Agriculture has spent the last 9 days killing more than 1.3 million healthy chickens, a move it did in part to save taxpayer dollars.
KCRG TV9's Jackson Valenti joins us now live in the studio to explain why the Department of Agriculture says what it calls depopulation was the best option.
The Department of Agriculture said in a statement, depopulation is the last resort. The chicken's fate was in the state's hands after Pure Prairie Poultry, a chicken processor in Charles City, closed abruptly earlier this month. When Pure Prairie Poultry closed, 13 farms housing 1.3 million chickens suddenly didn't have a chicken processor they could send their chickens to. The Department of Agriculture started taking care of those chickens while looking for a new processor to sell them to. The Department of Ag said in a press release it found a processor for the chickens, but the buyer ultimately backed out of the deal. The department said it couldn't find any other processors, so an emergency court gave it permission to kill the chickens in order to cut the mounting cost of taking care of them. The farms are now using composting to dispose of the birds. Farmers affected by Pure Prairie Poultry's closing say they're looking at financial losses above $100,000. The Department of Ag says it's going to work to recoup taxpayer costs. In the studio, Jackson Valenti, KCRG TV9 News.
Well, thanks for that brain rot. So now at least we got to see a few of the individuals who were called. So I guess we bear witness posthumously. Right, last week when I talked about this, there were two companies that were, or not companies, the two officers that were mentioned. While the chickens are not pose health threat or safety risk, MDA utilized emergency resources to ensure the remaining chickens were humanely depopulated, according to American Veterinary Medication Association standards and overseen by experts from the Minnesota Board of Animal Health. So I told you that we might look into these two places. So let's attempt to do that now. Frankly, I don't know how long I can hold on. But yeah, don't bail them out. Let them go bankrupt so they can never lay their hands on animals again. Yeah, Bianca, I share your rage. I'm just not in a raging mood, and I'm in a crying mood. So, but I definitely share your rage. Of course, will get new chickens. That's what I suspect, that's gonna happen. So, American Veterinary Medical Association. This is this place. So it includes both the veterinarians for pets and for livestock. Co-crime stream, yeah. You joining me? Well, I'm the only one who's putting the face to the crying, I guess. Both places, this is the second place, by the way, Board of Animal Health. Both places are kind of talk a lot about avian influenza, so I'm wondering if we should skip to that instead of looking for something else. I don't know, I haven't. There are a bunch of stuff, so I just looked livestock, right? So disabled livestock. There are a bunch of stuff. What do you do with a disabled livestock? I don't know if we should read this. I think that's gonna make us all collectively cry. Transporting livestock. So basically, humane washing of how you should send the slaves to slaughter. Loss of livestock reaches millions. So that's Hurricane Katrina. It's 2005. Jesus. Yeah, so they don't, I don't know. So maybe we should jump into the avian flu, since both are talking about it. Both places. So H5N1 in US dairy cattle. Guys, maybe we should collect more food, because I think the next pandemic is coming. Hey Doggo, how you doing? Did you see the chicken farms that were destroyed during Hurricane Helen? I don't have the willpower to go look for that. I apologize. I bet it was fucking horrible. I mean, I follow Galapagos Mark on Instagram, so I watch enough of hurricane disaster for livestock animals. I don't want to dive into it. I can't right now, guys. It's really, I'm hanging on by a thread. So, right, on March 25th, the US Department of Agriculture, Food and Drug Administration, Center for Disease Control, CDC, announced that highly pathogenic avian influenza, specifically avian influenza virus type A, had been identified in US dairy cattle for the first time. Here's an important details on this rapidly evolving situation. Where did they update this? I want to see when they updated this. Because I don't know if they're gonna talk about the fact that US farmers just simply didn't allow testing on their farms. They were just like, no, fuck off. You're not gonna test my animals for this. Oh, cows are so fucking cute. Put their tongues out. Right. Avian influenza virus has been confirmed in dairy cattle in 14 states. 137 herds in California, 64 in Colorado, 35 in Idaho, 29 in Michigan, 26 in Texas, 13 in Iowa, 9 each in Minnesota and New Mexico, 7 in South Dakota, 4 in Kansas, 2 in Oklahoma, and 1 each North Carolina, Ohio, and Wyoming. And those are only the ones that were tested. Many farmers told the testers to fuck off. I think it ties into the spread of zoonotic disease as well. When these pig waste lagoons flood and these chicken barns blow away, it spreads all of that in addition to polluting water and stuff. Yeah. So I want to show you something. So hold on, let me go to my posted. So I just released a thing in my on my Instagram, Homesteader, where homesteaders are saying pig smell, and this is not the first time that I saw the claim that if you put pigs in a relatively small area, the smell is unbelievable. So this nice individual is saying, I want to get pigs to raise and butcher. However, I only have a 3/4 acre rural area, no HOA or anything. I don't know what HOA is. Probably if I think about it, I'll remember, but who cares? I just don't want to be the annoying neighbor who smells up the surrounding area with my pigs. Can I raise 2 pigs, but somehow keep smell to a minimum? Some of the answers look like this. No. Pigs in a small area equals lots of smell and flies. If you have big area, they are very clean, orderly animals though. I run 5 right now, and about on about a 5-acre forested pasture with a nice pond for them, and there is 0 smell and minimal flies. So I captioned this post on my Instagram, Harmsteader, with the fact that homesteaders constantly tell on the larger industries, right? Because pigs are raised in like small enclosures. I've never been to a pig farm. Never been to a small pig farm. Never been to a factory pig farm. But I bet, like people who were, I bet the stench of it, it's unbelievable. If what homesteaders claim is correct. And smell is not this innocuous thing, right? It comes from something. Bad smell comes from dangerous shit. So I think you are correct, Doggo. I think if any pig farms were destroyed, the disease that runs from that shit, from that place, is gonna be immense, incredible. Just imagine the smell, the wet smell. I can smell it. I don't know, I'm a bit of a visual person. I can fucking smell that shit right now. What's up, Jeremy? Apex Dream. Homeowners Association, thank you. I appreciate you, Apex Dream. I know the solution. Don't put pigs in small areas. Leave them alone. Yeah, of course. But they never get to that conclusion, unfortunately. Not ever. Yeah, the backyard chicken people ask, what do we do with all the roosters? Yeah. There's a constant conversation about roosters in homesteading groups. I mean, the answer is it's always right there, right? They're not hiding it from themselves, right? Because only farmers and homesteaders are in these places. Sorry, I had to sit down. I'm tired. Right. Get updates on detection here. Shall we push it? What was HPI again? I can never remember this acronym. Hold on. HPI. There you go. Highly pathogenic avian influenza. Are you scared yet? Are you scared yet, guys? I've been scared for months. I've been scared. So, confirmed cases last 30 days, 100. States affected last 30 days, 2. So it looks like they're actually getting it under control somewhat. Through killing animals. So it's all dairy milking cows. That's confirmation date. It's going back. So it's weird. So the confirmation date goes back. And here they said it's 137 herds. Now each herd is supposedly a farm, right? And here they say Oh, in last 30 days, 100 cases. Well, let's see. What does this do? Absolutely fucking nothing. Useless shit. Last 30 days, let's go total outbreak. Are you scared? That's fucking scary. That's fucking scary. California, holy fuck. Holy shit, man. Texas. Yeah, well, the main dairy places is that Idaho, yeah. Oh, Colorado, shit. Michigan. That's the argument pro-chicken fighting people use. They point to the egg industry. Yeah. Do they? I never knew that. That's terrible and hilarious at the same time. Depends on how you look at it. Just another day in Dystopia. Oh my god. Right. So that's cases, total outbreak cases. Each of them is a farm. How many total farms, dairy farms, on the US? In the US? How many dairy farms in the US? Yep. I'm gonna use AI for this. I don't feel like. Oh, shit. As of 2022, there are approximately 24,470 dairy farms operating in the US. So that's about 2%. 2% are outbreak. Since March. Yeah, no, it's not scary at all. It's not scary. Okay, so tests so far, and that's, yeah, good reminder, thank you. That's just what was allowed to be tested. Also the compliant farmers. Tests so far indicate that the virus detected in dairy cattle is H5N1, Eurasian lineage goose. I'm tired of reading. This is the same clade that has been affecting with wild birds and commercial poultry flocks, and that has caused sporadic infections in several species of wild and domestic mammals in the United States. Guys, I need to put myself together for a second. So I'm gonna take a coffee break, which I also lovingly call a pee break. So see you in a bit. it seemed like the music was too loud. Let me know if it was too loud, and I can fix it for the next time. I don't want you people to suffer. Jeremy, I'm not drinking coffee either. This is like a grain drink. It's a coffee replacement drink. I can't drink coffee this late. I'm not gonna fall asleep ever. So I guess we can, now that we have coffee, I guess we can do for a little bit longer. Again, I'm so sorry. It's a very shit stream. It's incredibly sad. And I look like I'm about to die. Right. Common clinical signs in affected cows include low appetite, reduced milk production. Of course, that's one of the first things they're going to notice. Low appetite and reduced milk production. And abnormal appearance of milk. Thickened and discolored. What do they mean by discolored? It's white. Do they mean discolored it's a different color than what it's supposed to be? Because discoloration means the removal of color, meaning it's becoming more white. How can a milk be discolored? But like the etymology of the word is this color, so maybe it's like a different color than what it's supposed to be. I don't know. It's not important. Second is enough information. Lactating cows have been most highly affected. Like, why would farmers not let the government test the animals? I mean, supposedly when they take the milk to the plant, to the processing plant, it's gonna reject that shit. It's gonna be thickened and discolored. So why wouldn't they want to get it done with, right? Tested, cool the cows because they don't give a shit about animals, and get their what do you call it? Money, whatever. What do you call it? Compensation, right? Monetary compensation, and start over. Why wouldn't they do that? I'll tell you why. I do have the answer. It's because to be a farmer or to be a homesteader, you kind of have to be a bit anti-government. There's kind of a lot of anti-government sentiment among those people. Not all of them. Not all of them. But a lot of them. Lactating cows have been most highly affected, and signs of illness have been reported in less than 10% of cows within a herd. While avian influenza virus is associated with high morbidity and mortality in birds, meaning it's highly pathogenic, yes, thank you. This hasn't been the case for dairy cattle. Most affected animals reportedly recover with supportive treatment, and the mortality cooling rate has been low at 2% or less. The spread of the H5N1. So with that, I think they added this for the farmers to open the gates to the farms and let the testers in. Subsidies, bailout money, thank you. Nerds like us, I appreciate it. Sometimes just forget the most basic words. The spread of H5N1 virus within among herds and among herds indicates that bovine to bovine spread occurs. Overall, well, haven't we seen bovine to human spread occur already? Overall animal movement is recognized is a recognized risk for disease transmission. This is fucking lunacy. We keep doing this and getting only shit out of it. Literally and figuratively. Keep doing this to animals and just fucking destroying ourselves in the process. Yeah, I'm not doing okay. I'm gonna finish soon, guys. I'm not gonna lie. Let's just move on to this, because my favorite homestead subreddit had the mention of this. It was too boring to put anywhere, but I decided to share it with you anyways. I mean, the fact of the matter is this didn't say anything interesting to the point of talking about it on Instagram, right? Said the same shit. So poultry farms turn on to Facebook after processor abandons thousands of chickens, right? Let's remember where it started. The farmers were basically going to Facebook and saying, please take our birds, but only people who can use them. I wonder if Sanctuary were to contact them, if they reject them based on the fact that sanctuaries don't kill animals. I don't know. How can these companies be held accountable for this fiasco? One person asks. Their initial plan was just to euthanize 45,000 healthy chickens. This kind of thinking is what is ruining the planet. Well, in more ways than once, but it's not like only 40. I guess it's just one. Have pushed this before. 45,000. Where did they get the 45,000? Is what he had. Just one farm had 45,000 individuals whom he was trying to give out on Facebook. I wouldn't wonder if sanctuaries would be rejected. What a horrific rescue that would be anyways. These animals barely can survive after reaching slaughter weight, right? This is me trying to do this, but my finger still hurts. So it would be a brave sanctuary to take these animals in, just to watch them die one by one while suffering incredibly. And this person says, meat birds' legs will break from their weight if not killed after a certain time. Can you imagine that sometimes the most empathy comes from people who have decided to raise and kill animals for their own consumption, right? Those are the people that sometimes say the most empathetic thing, where all the things that we read so far didn't seem to give a shit about animals at all. What a world we live in, when people who kill animals on a daily basis, right? In case of people who raise chickens, they kill animals almost every day, sometimes, right? They say the thing that nobody else is talking about. Well, it was probably too hardest them into meat. It did say they are meat birds, yeah. Yeah, they were putting them on Facebook to give them out to people who would kill them. It's my understanding that in this context, process means killing and harvesting the meat, but euthanasia implies a total loss. harvesting the meat. These people. Most of them are absolute garbage people. I just don't want you to misinterpret, like as if I was thinking that any of those people are actually like right or something, right? They're not. All of them are garbage people. Even those that show a little bit of compassion to animals, they still put animals in these situations where they kill them. So, garbage people. Correct, it means gassed on the farm and then moved to a destruction facility, cremated. Happy Cake Day. See what I told you? Some of them are absolute fucking garbage people. I once found a coon dog forum where someone asked about other schooling practices, and the answers were crazy. That's a weekend for me, doggo. That's at least once a week I find one of those. How do I cool my chickens? Post. The answers are absolutely fucking insane. A lot of them opt out into putting them on a cutting board and striking with an axe. Others are talking about absolutely horrendous systems where they put like a stick on their throats and then just pull really hard to kill chickens. Others talk about how if they put them in cones, then the animals basically pass out. Others more say, what the fuck are you talking about? Every time I put animals in cones, it takes them minutes to pass out and I have to push them down into the cone to keep them in there. So, and then the other farmer, this is a real conversation I'm telling to you. The other farmer who said that they basically pass out was like, well, yeah, you have to keep them in there until you cut their throat. Meaning, what the fuck are you talking about? They've been passing out. What the fuck are you talking about? Yeah, disgusting behavior. Others say, yeah, just grab and dislocate their necks. Others more, let me think, what else? How else they kill animals? Yeah, those are the basic ones, I guess. Disgusting behavior. You have no idea, Martin Kevin. And sometimes a poor soul comes in there and says, guys, I can't go to a veterinary, but my pet chicken got, I don't know, knocked out or whatever. Right? Tell me how to save them. And the homesteader is like, you're in the wrong group, dude. They're just gonna tell you how to call them, how to kill the chicken. Run, Forrest, run! You're in the wrong place. Everybody's pragmatic here about not bothering about saving animals too much. Cone. Chicken cone. It's like a metal cone with a hole down on the bottom. And they put the chicken's head down. And then they push the head out of the bottom of the cone and they cut their throat. And it makes the chicken not being able to struggle as much. And some make the claim that they pass out. I don't know if it's true or not. Because others say, the fuck they don't. They still fucking struggle in those cones. Yeah, a cone. A chicken cone. I'm sorry, I'm gonna find one for you. I apologize. Hold on. Chicken cone. Let's go to images. Oh no, that's killing cone. Or metal. Oh, there you go. There you go. So it's either metal. Some people, yeah, grab fucking just like a This is one of those plastic cones that cut off the bottom. And the chickens are, they put them like that, and just the chickens are not able to struggle too much. And some individuals may pass out, and then they cut their heads off and let them bleed out. Yeah. So that's how homesteaders usually prefer to kill animals. But others opt out for other systems, like putting them on a cutting board and chopping off their head with a hatchet. Fun. And then they say, well, don't forget to hold them in place, because even after their death, chickens struggle. I'm sorry. I'm definitely bringing all of you down to, I don't usually like infecting people with my bad moods. I should not have done a live stream today. I should not. I should have opted out. I'm sorry, guys. Yeah. So it's more of the same shit. Nothing interesting. Right. Guys. Thank you for coming. Hey, Oluwale. I'm sorry, I'm gonna go. Hey, UK Night Rider. How you doing? I'm sorry, guys. You're just coming in. I'm gonna go. I apologize. Thank you for coming. See you next time.